Okay, a little more about the cross product and how to handle it. And this should hopefully, if the last video left you a little confused, this one should hopefully straighten things out. What I want to do is look at how we handle the cross product in a three-dimensional or in an IJK type, right-hand rule coordinate system. So cross product. Okay, so let's first of all set up our cross product, our coordinate system. So let's say we have x and y, and then I'm going to draw I'm going to draw z coming out at you. Okay, so here's the z-axis is coming straight towards us, so I can do this sort of in true three-dimensional. I'm not going to do a fake like slanty three-dimensional. I'm going to do like a real three-dimensional. Okay, and so of course we know we have unit vectors and all these things. We know that I hat is a unit vector going that way in the positive x direction. J hat is a unit vector going up in the positive y direction, and then k hat is a unit vector in the positive z direction, and that's k hat. Remember, the circle with a dot in it is a vector coming at us. If we want to do a vector going away from us, then we draw a circle with an x. So I'm going to draw a circle with an x here and say that is negative. Well, let's see. Negative k hat. Okay. So these are some unit vectors. Now, how do the unit vectors interact as far as the cross product goes? Well, interesting question. So let's look, for example, at what I hat cross j hat is, and that is going to equal a vector that. So let's go back to our rules for cross product. Our rules for cross product say, first of all, that the magnitude of I hat plus j hat. So let's take the magnitude of that is going to equal the magnitude of I hat times the magnitude of j hat times the sine of the angle between them. Okay, well, what's the angle between I hat and j hat? That's 90 degrees, right? I mean, they're at right angles to each other, the unit vectors and for different axes. So this is going to be 1. What is the magnitude of j hat? It's also 1. And what is the magnitude of I hat? It's 1. So 1 times 1 times 1 is going to be the magnitude of I hat dot j hat. Great. Now, what direction is I hat cross j hat? I'm sorry, did I say I hat dot j hat? I meant I hat cross j hat. The magnitude of I hat cross j hat is 1 times 1 times 1, which is obviously 1. Okay, so great. Now, which direction does it point? Well, let's do our right-hand rule. So, with me, take your right hand, hold it up, and make an L with your thumb and your forefinger, so that you have, here's your hand, and then, okay, palm facing towards you, and here's your I hat, is your thumb, and then j hat is your first finger, your index finger, and so your second finger is pointing straight out at you. So the direction of the cross product of I hat and j hat, the direction of I hat cross j hat is coming straight towards us, and the magnitude of it is 1. So what vector has a magnitude of 1 and is coming straight at us? Our friend k hat, right? So I hat cross j hat equals k hat. Okay, and in fact, you can probably guess right now that if we take other combinations of the unit vectors and multiply them, you'll get you'll get the unit vectors as well. So let's try j hat cross k hat next, and I'm doing this one specifically because there's a pattern to these I want to show you. J hat cross k hat. Well, we can guess it's going to have a magnitude of 1. We can, obviously, it's going to be perpendicular to both, so it's probably going to be either positive I hat or negative I hat. So let's think about this. Here's j hat. So hold your hand so that your thumb is pointing along j hat. So here's like your thumb pointing along j hat, and then your index finger, and this is going to be kind of uncomfortable, of course, but you can do it. Your index finger will be, like that, pointing in the k hat direction, right? So there's k hat. Here's your index finger, and then here's the rest of your hand, and so your middle finger is going to point outward like that, and there's your palm, and there's your other fingers still curled up. So it's kind of like you're almost flipping yourself off, or flipping yourself the bird, except that the your index finger here is pointing straight at you, and then this finger is pointing this way. And so this finger is j hat cross k hat. And if we check up here with our right hand rule coordinate system, sure enough, that's I hat. So j hat cross k hat is I hat. And then you can do the last one yourself if you want. I will just tell you that k hat cross I hat equals j hat. So, not bad, right? Now, what happens if you reverse these? So let's do j hat cross I hat. So instead of taking I hat cross j hat, we're going to take j hat cross I hat. Now, you might be tempted to say this is the same thing. It's multiplication. It's got to be commutative. Actually, no. Think about this. So now instead of taking your thumb along I hat, you're putting your thumb along j hat and your index finger along I hat. And you'll realize this is your right hand here. So you've got your palm. Actually, I probably should have drawn like the rest of your fingers in here to emphasize that you're seeing your palm there. So you can see right now it's your palm facing out at you. Okay, but if you want to turn it around and go the other way, so that j hat is your thumb and I hat is your index finger, then what you realize is that you're actually holding it like this. And this is the back of your hand if you're using a right hand now. So in fact, oops, that's my fiance calling. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. She is not having a good day, unfortunately. So, anyway, so j hat cross I hat. So you'll find that to make this work with the right hand rule, you actually have to turn the back of your hand to face you like this, which means that your middle finger, you can't see it here, but your middle finger is actually going to be pointing away from you when you find what the cross product is. So here is I hat cross j hat, and that is going to be not positive k hat, it's actually negative k hat. And so the rule you can generalize out of that is that if you reverse any of these, in fact, if you reverse any cross product, you reverse the order of the arguments for the cross product, then you will get the negative. So j hat cross I hat is negative k hat, and then what else do we have? Let's see, k hat cross j hat is negative I hat, and I hat cross k hat is negative j hat. So that is something to be careful of, because you don't want to assume they're going to be the same and then be surprised to discover that things are going the opposite direction. But this does make sort of a very easy way to remember these things. You write the letters I, oh well, this is J, so I'll write the I over here, I, J, K, and then to make it easy, you write I and J again, and you can keep writing I, J, K, I, J, K, I, J, K, but you don't need more than this. I'll just do it twice just for fun, okay? And then you take the things you're cross-producting, or you're taking the cross product of, and you look at whether you go one hop to the right or one hop to the left. And then if you're going to the right, then you go one more step and you keep positive. And if you're going to the left, then you go one more step to the left and keep negative. Now, if that doesn't make sense, let me show you an example. So say you're taking, let me write this in purple. So you're taking I hat cross j hat, and you don't have this. In fact, I'm just going to get rid of this stuff here. Whoops. Dang it. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So let's get rid of all that crap there. And cut. Okay. And then I'm going to take this stuff and move it a little just to... Nope, never mind. Wow, I fail at using this thing. Okay, and then move... There we go. Okay, so here's our little IJK thing. And I'm going to do this without having all the results I wrote out there, just to show you how to do it this way. So I say I'm multiplying I hat by times j hat. And I mean it, folks. I have done this. I've been doing this for years and years. I did this in grad school for robotics, for fluid mechanics, for all kinds of things. This is still how I remember which one's positive, which one's negative. I'm not kidding you. This works. So I say I'm trying to take the cross product of I hat and j hat. I can't remember what it is. Well, so I go IJK, and I go, I'm going from I to j. So I go one more, and because I'm going to the right, it's positive. So I go from I to j, j to k. So the answer is k hat, and it's going positive. Okay, great. Now let me try another one. I'll do this one in blue. So let's do I hat cross k hat. What's that equal to? Well, to get from I to K, I go 1 to the left. And so I go 1 more to the left, and I get J. And because I'm going to the left, I make it negative. So negative J hat. So remember, if you are going on your IJK, if you're going this way, then it's positive. If you're going this way, then your answer is negative. And it's always the way that you're doing just one hop. So if I'm doing I hat cross K hat, and I try to go like, I to K, well, that's no good because I've gone 2. I skipped the J in the middle. So the correct thing to do would be to go backwards to K and then go backwards to J, and because I'm going to the left, it's negative. So that's how that works, and then we'll build that into taking the cross product of actual real vectors that have different components in the next video.